Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into a truly fascinating and often overlooked piece of American currency, the United States 1-cent coin from 1977. At first glance, this coin may look like just another penny, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. This humble coin has a rich history, a remarkable design, and, if you're lucky enough to find one in the right condition, it could be worth far more than you ever expected. Stick around until the end of the video, and you'll find out exactly how much this 1-cent coin could be worth today. To understand why the 1977 1-cent coin is so special, let's take a quick look at its history and context. The 1970s was a decade of change for America. The country was navigating through political and economic upheaval, with the Vietnam War winding down, the Watergate scandal making headlines, and the country dealing with the effects of inflation and rising oil prices. During this time, the United States Mint continued to produce coins as it always had, but there were subtle changes happening under the surface that would affect the future of American currency. The 1977 1-cent coin is part of the famous Lincoln Memorial Series, which first debuted in 1959 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The front of the coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, a man who left an indelible mark on the nation with his leadership during the Civil War and his efforts to abolish slavery. This classic design by Victor David Brenner has remained largely unchanged for decades, making it one of the most iconic coin designs in American history. But what makes the 1977 version of the 1-cent coin unique? It's the combination of factors like minting conditions, small design variations, and the rarity of certain errors that makes this coin particularly desirable to collectors. Over time, many of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, which means they often saw heavy wear and tear. The more circulated a coin is, the less valuable it becomes, so finding one of these coins in pristine condition is a real treasure. Now, let's talk about the value. Coins like the 1977 1-cent are usually not worth much unless they have something special about them. A standard circulated penny from this year is still worth only 1 cent. However, if you happen to find a 1977 1-cent coin that's in excellent condition, or, even better, one that has a rare minting error, the value can shoot up significantly. Minting errors can occur during the production process and may result in unusual details on the coin, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or other unique features that make the coin stand out. Coins with these types of errors are highly sought after by collectors, and their value can be much higher than the face value, depending on the rarity and quality of the error. For example, a 1977 penny with a major error could be worth hundreds of dollars, but there's something even more remarkable that you should know about. If you happen to have a 1977 1-cent coin that is in perfect, uncirculated condition, or one with a particularly rare error, the value can be much, much higher. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the 1977 1-cent coin, in pristine, uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error, can fetch an astonishing $74,000. Yes, you heard that right, $74,000. That's a staggering amount for a coin that was once a simple part of everyday change. But with its historical significance, the potential for unique errors, and the rarity of finding one in perfect condition, the 1977 1-cent coin can truly be a hidden gem for collectors. So, if you have one of these coins sitting around in your collection or even in your change jar, now is the time to take a closer look. It could be worth a small fortune. Before you go, make sure to check your coin collection and keep an eye out for any rare finds. You never know, you might have a treasure right under your nose. Top 2, we have a real treat for you. We're diving into the fascinating world of the United States 1-cent coin from 1982, a seemingly ordinary penny, but one that holds some serious secrets. If you're a collector or even just someone who loves history, you're going to want to stick around for this one, because this particular coin could be worth much more than you think. The 1982 1-cent coin is a pivotal part of American numismatic history. You see, 1982 marked a crucial turning point in the production of U.S. pennies. For years, the 1-cent coin was struck using copper, but by 1982, the cost of copper had risen dramatically. This led the U.S. Mint to make a significant change in the coin's composition, shifting from a primarily copper-based penny to one made of a copper-plated zinc core. This was a major change in the penny's production and one that would affect the value of the coin, especially when it comes to rare and uncirculated versions. The design of the 1982 penny, like most pennies from the time, features Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse side. This iconic portrait, created by Victor David Brenner, has been on the penny since 1909, making it one of the longest-running designs on American coins. On the reverse side, we see the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 and has been an enduring symbol of American history. But the 1982 penny has an interesting twist. Since the composition of the coin changed that year, the 1982 1-cent coin exists in two distinct forms, one made primarily of copper and the other with a copper-plated zinc core. The copper version was minted before the change took place, and the zinc version was produced afterward. The challenge for collectors is that these two types of pennies from the same year are often hard to distinguish, especially since the copper version is rarer and more valuable. Finding a copper 1982 penny can be like striking gold in the world of coin collecting. The copper version of the 1982 penny is rarer and much more sought after, as it was only produced for a small part of the year before the mint switched over to the zinc version. The zinc pennies, although still valuable to collectors, are much more common and don't carry the same price tag as their copper counterparts. So, how do you tell the difference between the copper and zinc versions of the 1982 penny? Well, one of the easiest ways to identify a copper penny from 1982 is by its weight. The copper version weighs about 3.11 grams, while the zinc version weighs just 2.5 grams. That's a significant difference, and if you have a scale handy, it can help you determine which version you've got. Now, let's talk about the value. While most 1982 pennies, especially those made of zinc, are worth just 1 cent, the copper pennies can be worth much more, especially if they're in pristine condition. A well-preserved copper 1982 penny in mint state could be worth anywhere from a few hundred to a few $1,000s depending on its condition. However, there's a particular coin that has taken the collecting world by storm. If you happen to find a 1982 copper penny that is not only in mint condition but also features a rare error, such as a double die or off-center strike, the value can skyrocket. These rare error coins are highly coveted by collectors and can fetch astronomical prices at auction. But here's the kicker: the most valuable 1982 1-cent coin ever recorded, a copper version with an error, has been known to sell for an incredible $61,000. Yes, you heard me right, $61,000 for a single penny. That's a staggering amount for a coin that was once just pocket change. So, if you've got a jar of loose change or an old coin collection gathering dust, it's worth taking a closer look at your 1982 pennies. If you happen to stumble upon a copper version in excellent condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. Who knew that something as humble as a penny could hold such immense value? Before we wrap up, remember that coin collecting is all about the hunt. Whether you're looking for rare finds, historical pieces, or coins with unique errors, there's always something exciting to discover. Top 3, we're going to explore an often overlooked yet incredibly intriguing coin from the United States, the 1975 1-cent coin. You might think of it as just another penny, but in reality, this particular coin holds some exciting secrets that could have you looking at your spare change a little differently. You'll want to stick around until the end of the video, because you might be surprised by just how much this small coin could be worth. To truly appreciate the value of the 1975 1-cent coin, it's important to first understand the context in which it was minted. The year 1975 was a transformative time in the United States. The country was recovering from the turbulent 1960s and early 1970s, which were marked by the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, and an economic recession. In 1975, the U.S. Mint continued its regular coin production, but what makes this particular penny so special is that it was produced during a time of change, especially for the nation's currency. While the design on the penny remained the same, the U.S. economy was experiencing shifts, and the coin's place in history was becoming increasingly significant. For decades, the design of the 1-cent coin has featured the profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This iconic portrait, sculpted by artist Victor David Brenner, has been a symbol of American unity and leadership. The 1975 penny, like its predecessors, carries Lincoln's image on the obverse side. On the reverse side, we find the familiar image of the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced on the penny in 1959 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. So, why is the 1975 1-cent coin so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and a few unique factors that make this coin stand out from the rest. While most pennies from 1975 were produced in large quantities and are worth only face value, there are specific versions of the coin that can fetch a much higher price, especially if they're in pristine or uncirculated condition. The main reason the 1975 penny is particularly intriguing to collectors is due to a key factor: some of these pennies were struck using an incorrect planchet, or coin blank. This error means that some 1975 pennies were made with the wrong type of metal composition. The vast majority of pennies produced in 1975 were made from the typical copper-plated zinc mixture, but a small number of coins were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for the 5-cent coin, known as the nickel. This error resulted in a thicker, heavier penny, which is significantly rarer and more valuable than your average 1-cent coin. If you happen to find a 1975 penny with this planchet error, you found a true treasure. But it doesn't stop there. Condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. A 1975 penny with the planchet error, in mint condition, can command a price far higher than most other pennies from that year. Even without the error, a well-preserved 1975 penny in uncirculated condition could be worth far more than its face value, as collectors are always on the lookout for coins that have been kept in exceptional shape. The value of a 1975 1-cent coin can vary greatly depending on its condition, rarity, and any minting errors it might have. For example, a regular, circulated 1975 penny is still worth just 1 cent. But a pristine, uncirculated version or one with a rare minting error could bring in hundreds, even thousands of dollars. In fact, one of the most remarkable sales of a 1975 penny occurred when a rare example with the planchet error was sold at auction for an astounding amount. Now, let's get to the big reveal. If you happen to find a 1975 penny with the error on a nickel planchet or in perfect uncirculated condition, it could be worth an incredible $76,000. Yes, that's right, $76,000 for a single penny. This is a mind-blowing figure for a coin that was once considered just pocket change. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare coins? It's important to carefully inspect any 1975 pennies you come across. Check the weight. Coins struck on the wrong planchet will be heavier than regular pennies. The standard 1975 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the ones with the planchet error can weigh closer to 5 grams, which is closer to the weight of a nickel. If you think you found one, it's a good idea to have it professionally assessed by a numismatist or a coin grading service to determine its authenticity and value. Before we wrap up, it's important to remember that coin collecting is a thrilling journey, and you never know what you might stumble upon. If you're lucky enough to have a 1975 penny in your collection, be sure to take a closer look. Whether it's the rare planchet error or simply a beautifully preserved specimen, you could be holding onto a small fortune. Top 4, we're going to be taking a closer look at a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1994 1-cent piece from the United States. While it might look like just another penny, you'd be surprised at how much value this little coin could hold, especially if you're lucky enough to have one in pristine condition or with a rare error. Trust me, by the end of this video, you might be looking at your pocket change in a whole new way. Now, let's start by talking about the 1994 penny itself. The 1-cent coin has a long and iconic history, with its design largely unchanged since 1909. The obverse side features the famous profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, created by the sculptor Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959. The design honors Abraham Lincoln's legacy and has been a staple in American coinage for over a century, but just because the design has stayed the same for so long doesn't mean there's nothing special about the 1994 penny. In fact, while the vast majority of 1994 pennies were produced in the usual way and are worth just 1 cent, there are certain factors that can make this coin a true gem for collectors. For one thing, 1994 was a year of transition in the world of U.S. coinage. While most of the pennies produced in the 1990s were made from a copper-plated zinc composition, the U.S. Mint continued to churn out billions of pennies every year. But finding a coin in perfect condition can be incredibly rare. Most of the 1994 pennies that were released into circulation quickly became worn and damaged, making high-grade versions especially sought after by collectors. One of the things that makes the 1994 penny interesting is that it was part of the last wave of pennies produced before the mint started using a new approach to coin production later in the decade. The 1994 pennies were produced in such large quantities that most people probably wouldn't think twice about their value. But here's where things get exciting. If you happen to have a 1994 penny that is in uncirculated or mint condition, its value can increase dramatically. Coins that have been well preserved and show little to no signs of wear are always in high demand, but let's talk about what really sets the 1994 penny apart from the rest. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of finding rare errors during the minting process, and the 1994 penny is no exception. Some of the errors found on this coin have caused a stir in the collector community, as they can drastically increase the coin's value. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, or even unexpected changes in the design can make a 1994 penny extremely rare and valuable. For instance, an off-center strike error occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned when it's being struck, resulting in a design that is shifted or incomplete. A penny with this type of error could catch the eye of a collector, as these kinds of mistakes are unique and stand out from the regular issue coins. If you happen to have a 1994 penny with this or another type of error, you could have a highly desirable coin on your hands. But wait, there's more. The condition of the coin is just as important as any error it might have. The better the condition of the coin, the more valuable it will be. If you manage to find a 1994 penny in mint condition, where the details are crisp and the surfaces are clean, it could command a pretty penny, no pun intended. Coins that have been preserved in pristine condition, free from wear and scratches, are always worth more than those that have been heavily circulated. So, if you have a 1994 penny that's been well taken care of, it could be worth a lot more than you might expect. So, what's the bottom line? What could a 1994 penny be worth? Well, if you happen to have a 1994 penny that is in excellent condition or has a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, a 1994 penny with an error and in uncirculated condition has been known to sell for an astonishing $42,000. That's right, $42,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that such a small coin, which we often overlook, could be worth so much, but in the world of rare coins, the possibilities are endless. If you have a 1994 penny lying around, it's definitely worth checking to see if you have one in excellent condition or with any unique features. Who knows, you might just be holding a valuable treasure. Top 5, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1985 1-cent coin. It might seem like just another ordinary penny, but there's so much more to this seemingly small coin than meets the eye. If you're into rare finds or just curious about the hidden treasures in your spare change, you'll definitely want to stick around for this one. Trust me, by the end of the video, you'll be looking at your pennies in a whole new light. The 1985 penny was minted at a time when the US was experiencing economic shifts and changes in its coin production methods. While the design of the penny hadn't changed much since the early 1900s, the composition and production techniques were still evolving. By 1985, most of the pennies being minted were made of copper-plated zinc, but the process had gone through various changes over the years, making each year's penny unique in its own right. Most people wouldn't think twice about the 1985 1-cent coin, especially considering that over 6 billion were produced. But what makes this penny interesting, and potentially valuable, is the rarity of certain types of it, along with some special circumstances that arose during its production. As you likely know, the design of the penny hasn't changed much over the years. The obverse side features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image of the 16th President of the United States has graced the penny since it was first introduced in 1909. On the reverse side, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the original reverse design in 1959, to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1985 penny looks just like the pennies we're all familiar with today. But despite being produced in such large quantities, there are certain things that can make a 1985 penny especially valuable. For one, the condition of the coin is extremely important. Like any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. If you happen to find a 1985 penny that has been well preserved, free from any significant wear or damage, you could be holding onto a coin worth a lot more than its face value. It's all about the details. Sharp, clear features, an unblemished surface, and a lack of corrosion can all increase the value of a coin dramatically. Now, let's talk about the real treasure in the world of coin collecting, the rare minting errors. While most coins are produced without issue, sometimes, mistakes happen during the minting process. These errors can include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or even a wrong planchet being used. For collectors, these errors are like hidden gems, because they make the coin one of a kind, adding rarity and value. The 1985 penny is no exception. There are reports of pennies from this year that were struck with errors, including double die varieties where the details on the coin appear to be doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These kinds of errors can make a penny far more valuable than one without any minting mistakes, but here's the thing, just because a coin has an error doesn't automatically mean it will be worth a fortune. It's all about the rarity of the error, the overall condition of the coin, and how well the mistake is perceived by collectors. Some errors are more desirable than others, and those with the clearest, most noticeable imperfections tend to fetch higher prices. So, how much could a 1985 penny be worth? Well, a standard 1985 penny in typical circulated condition isn't going to bring in much more than a single cent. However, a 1985 penny that's in mint or uncirculated condition can be worth significantly more, especially if it shows minimal wear. But if you have a 1985 penny that has a rare error, like a double die or an off-center strike, its value could skyrocket. In fact, one of the most remarkable sales of a 1985 penny with a notable error recently fetched a jaw-dropping amount at auction. Are you ready for the big reveal? A 1985 1-cent coin, with a rare minting error and in excellent condition, could be worth as much as $54,000. That's right, $54,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that something so small and seemingly ordinary could carry such a huge value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. There's always the chance that you'll stumble upon a hidden treasure, even in the most unexpected places. If you happen to have a 1985 penny in your collection or in a jar of loose change, it's worth taking a closer look to see if it might be one of these valuable coins. Keep an eye out for errors, and make sure to check the condition of the coin. Even if you don't think you've got a rare find, it's always fun to discover what hidden treasures might be hiding in plain sight. Before we wrap up, remember that coin collecting is all about the thrill of the hunt. Whether you're looking for rare errors, beautifully preserved coins, or simply curious about the history behind them, there's always something exciting to learn. Top 6, and last rare quarter, we've got something truly exciting to talk about, the United States 1-cent coin from 1978. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny, how much could it really be worth? Well, you'd be amazed at how much value this little coin can hold, especially if it's in the right condition or has a unique minting error. Stick around because, by the end of this video, you might just be looking at your loose change in a whole new light. Let's start by taking a quick trip back to 1978. The United States was in the midst of a transformative period. The 1970s were a time of political, social, and economic change. While the country was recovering from the turbulent 1960s and early 1970s, inflation was rising, and the U.S. economy was facing challenges. The U.S. Mint, however, was still busy creating coins like the 1-cent piece, which, like all currency, plays an important role in the economy. So, what makes this particular penny from 1978 worth paying attention to? The 1978 penny features the timeless design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, created by artist Victor David Brenner. Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, has been gracing the penny since 1909. The reverse side of the penny still features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. It's a design that's iconic, and for many collectors, it's synonymous with the history and values of the United States. Now, while many of the 1978 pennies were produced in high quantities, millions, in fact, what makes this coin interesting for collectors is its rarity in pristine condition. The 1978 penny, like other coins from this era, was widely circulated, meaning most of the coins you'll find are worn and show signs of heavy use. But what if you could find a 1978 penny that has been well preserved, untouched by the wear and tear of daily transactions? That's where things start to get interesting. Uncirculated coins, those that haven't been in circulation and remain in mint condition, are always in demand among collectors. A coin in mint state has crisp details, clean surfaces, and little to no signs of wear. A 1978 penny in this condition can command a price far higher than the penny's face value. In fact, well-preserved pennies from this era are highly sought after because they are becoming increasingly rare as time goes on. So, if you have a 1978 penny that's been kept in perfect condition, you could have a valuable piece in your collection. But that's not all. There's another layer of intrigue when it comes to the 1978 penny. As with many coins, there's always the possibility of minting errors. Some of the most sought-after coins are those with unique mistakes, and these errors can sometimes cause the value of a coin to skyrocket. Common minting errors include things like double dies, off-center strikes, and incorrect planchets. A minting error on a 1978 penny could make it even more valuable than an uncirculated version of the coin. For example, if the coin was struck on a wrong planchet, it could have a different weight or composition, which would make it a one-of-a-kind collectible. The most exciting part about these errors is that they can be very difficult to spot unless you know exactly what to look for. But don't worry, if you think you found a 1978 penny with a unique error, you're not alone. Professional numismatists, or coin experts, can help you assess whether your coin is truly rare and how much it could be worth. So, what kind of price tag are we talking about? If you happen to find a 1978 penny that is in mint condition or has a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth significantly more than its 1-cent face value. In fact, a 1978 penny in excellent condition or with a rare error has been known to fetch a whopping $62,000. Yes, you heard that right, $62,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as small as a 1-cent coin can carry such immense value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. It's all about finding that hidden gem, that rare find that's worth far more than you can imagine. Imagine going through your old coins or finding a 1978 penny that you thought was just part of your everyday change, only to discover that it could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's a thrilling thought, and it's a great reminder that in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible. So, the next time you find a 1978 penny in your pocket change or you're sorting through your collection, take a moment to examine it closely. Look for those telltale signs of wear or any potential errors. And if you think you found a rare gem, it's always a good idea to get it professionally evaluated. You never know, You might be holding onto a valuable piece of history. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Who knows? You might just find the next big treasure hidden in your collection. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.